Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Flag from MissionStarCraft, bringing you guys another game. This is submitted to us by our friend here, BlackDeath, versus ErikTheRed. ErikTheRed, obviously not in Greenland right now. I believe he went to Greenland. Was it Greenland? I think he may have got... Is he... I get the Norwegian explorers mixed up. I am a history nerd myself, so the whole kind of Viking exploration sort of thing really is awesome stuff, but I have actually not really done much research on it since I was in like 6th grade. But anyway, gonna move on and go for the perspective of our submitter here, BlackDeath. I'm gonna open up dim nameplates and close dat timer, speed it up a little bit. Gonna have some just normal early game stuff. This is gonna be a Masters League game. Yeah, we got a badass right here. Yes, we do. I believe top 5 Masters League. Just some badass stuff coming up here. Gonna be having our SCV going for a little scout to see what is coming from our Protoss enemy. Gonna be throwing down that cybernetics core. Wow, my sinuses are acting up like crazy. Holy cow. Gonna have that Zealot go out for a scout as well. Throwing down the early expand against Protoss, I am actually totally, absolutely, and completely oblivious as to what is a good strat for a Protoss against, or Protoss against a Terran, or a Terran against a Protoss, especially high level. I have no freaking clue. So, but there was a little bit of a harass by that Zealot. Going to be able to get the Zealot out and be able to survive both as the Terran and the Protoss. Very nice indeed. Throwing down another bunker to prevent that pressure coming up. Going to have another base coming up. Ooh, slowing down to 2x speed. Going to walk straight by those bunkers. This is going to be very hard for our Terran player to deal with, although he's going to come in with those SCVs and Marines to try and clean up these sentries and stalkers. Holy crap, my sinuses. Bunker going to be able to do a lot of damage to that stalker. Going to be macroing up all during this entire time for both sides. Very good, very good. Going to want to keep building SCVs, but I'm not going to criticize all that much as I am only a lowly gold player. Ah yes, a lowly gold player. Yes, indeed, yes, indeed. But yes, pretty much everything is going pretty well for Protoss. Going to be able to put a lot of pressure on our submitter here, BlackDeath. Very, very nice pressure by the Protoss. Very good job at just getting through that, surviving that pressure early on the part of BlackDeath. Going to be able to keep up that expansion, although we are looking at, let's take a look at the probe count. 41 to 26, huge advantage for ErikTheRed. I'm going to actually have to go ahead and pause. My sinuses are absolutely dead. Wow. Anyway, getting back into the game. Putting that drawer back. Putting down those supply depots, very nice. Keep any Zealots from coming in. You're going to have those sentries just kind of play around. Going to get the Zealots in front. Going to have more pressure coming in. Going to see what it can do. Ooh, force fields, very nice indeed. Not actually keeping much off as the Zealots were up there, so those that were force fielded back were just shooting at the Zealots. Going to be able to do damage during the entire time. Big thing with force fields is you want to be able to keep the opponent's army from actually being able to be effective all at the same time. Only having to fight certain amounts of a smaller amount of units. Very good force fields. Very, very nice indeed. Picking off a few of the Terran army at a time. Going to have ourselves our combat shields. Do we have the other upgrades as well? We do have very nice. We have stim and concussive shells. Going to pick off the proxy. Very, very good. Although we do have an observer at our base to be able to just kind of keep an eye on what is happening as it goes down. Going to have a probe at the Zelnaga. Very nice indeed. Going to want to move that out of the way as this army approaches. Not going to do that though. Not a big deal. We do have a very large army, pretty much just ready to stomp this, I do imagine, stomp this Terran army, although one stim would be very nice when it comes in. Going to have a Colossi. Wow, this is actually a very difficult army for our friend here, BlackDeath, to deal with. Going to scout into one Marine, realize, holy crap, that's a huge army. Holy crap, I'm going to scan that and see, holy shit, that is indeed a huge freaking army. Going to move out and throw down a proxy, be ready to push it in more. Throwing down that expand just in case this actually goes well. Going to have medevacs in just in case, but I think this is going to be very difficult for our friend here, BlackDeath, to deal with. Moving in SCVs to repair just in the nick of time. Maybe putting down another bunker, all that sort of stuff. Moving in the Vikings to try and pick off that Colossus, as it is going to do a huge amount of damage. Going to want to get Marines into those bunkers as soon as possible. We do have those SCVs ready to repair, all that sort of stuff. Going to be moving our Vikings in to try and pick that off. Thermal lances on those Colossi, going to get them to range 9, almost, I think, what is it, range 9 on these Vikings as well. It's range 9, really insanely, absolutely crazy long range. Going to be moving our stalkers in, although we do actually protect these bunkers very well. This is actually a really, really good defend. Most players in the lower brackets at this point would have been absolutely steamrolled by this Protoss army. I admit myself, I would have as well. Going to move in and absolutely dominate it though. Holy crap, this is very, very good play by BlackDeath. Going to move in. Vikings, having done their job, just going to chill over here, just watching as shit gets absolutely face rolled. Very nice by BlackDeath. Going to get that third base up. Very, very good. Going to have a third base started right now for the Protoss, although the edge is starting to slowly sweep into our Terran player BlackDeath's favor. Very, very nice indeed. We are at 106 to 79 food. It's going to be pretty hard actually for our Protoss enemy to deal with. He's throwing down more gateways to get that production up pretty quickly. Going to get another Colossi out, as well as an Immortal. Going to be able to do a little bit of damage. We do have a Marine up here to scout out. Going to go straight for that third base. I do this all the time when I play Zerg. My basic timing attack, although Zerg does not do a very neat timing attack, when I do go for a timing attack with a huge roach push, I will go straight for that third base right around the time Protoss needs it, which is exactly what BlackDeath did. Uber epic. The Protoss is going to be able to just push that off for now, but the expansion is stopped. Going to have to pull in probes as well to try and push that off. Probe to SCV count is now 62 to 47, and 2 mules. Going to be very hard to deal with. Going to throw in those SCVs to repair that third base. Going to pull it back though. So it is going to be a little bit of a trade there for just a moment. Going to probably send that right back, although he does have the Zelnaga, which will allow him to see that very, very easily. Also has an observer there. Going to have a scan to check and see where that army is. Very nice indeed. Throwing down that third base, going to get those SCVs back on the line. Very nice, very nice. The probes for ErikTheRed are going to be distance mining for a little bit there. While that third base gets itself up, we do have double gas there as well. Not really seeing any tech switches or anything at all from both sides. We do see charge has been researched for our enemy ErikTheRed rather. We do see Colossi doing a lot of damage, but this surround is going to do a good amount of damage to. Ooh, we do have the Marauders coming in from the side. Going to be doing a lot of damage to the Protoss army, although it is pretty much up and running. Would love to see some High Templar if I was the Protoss player. Although I am a low-level player, I do think the Templar Storms, Psy Storms would be very, very effective in this situation. Especially with, although with those speed buffs, you do want to keep them out of those storms. Very nice indeed. The Protoss army is going to be able to get in here and deny that third base again, as their third base is just up and running now. Going to have this Viking and the Marine just chilling out back there. Going to have the army now transitioning into more of an Archon-focused play. Do we still have more Colossi being produced? Yes, we do have more Colossi being chronoed out to get those out there as soon as possible. Going to have Sentries and High Templar. There they are. They're the High Templar. I assume going to be morphed into Archons. More Archons. Going to do a lot of damage to these Marines as they do come in. We do have 2 2s done for our friend BlackDeath. However, we do have 3 3s already done for the Protoss. Going to pick off that proxy and try and do a little bit of damage to this main army. Going to be able to get in that force field, not really doing much at that point. Going to get that base down again. 4th base going for our Protoss enemy. Going to want to get a 4th base up, I imagine, for BlackDeath as well. Going to be moving out with our Bile Ball. Going to try and do a little bit of damage. The force is going to move up and just kind of party around the 2nd and 3rd base. Although the 4th base is taken down, canceled very nicely. Going to actually, throw down a feedback, I believe. Here comes that Ghost. Not going to really do much. Ghost, uber useful against Protoss. EMPs can be absolutely brutal in a lot of fights, especially in this kind of thing where you have Archons, which have very little health, but just massive shields. Let's take a look at that, actually. Archon, yes, 350 health on those shields, but only 10 in health. Huge thing. Psy Storm's going down, doing a lot of damage. Going to slow it down to fast speed. Could be morphing in another Archon, but the Bile Ball is going to be able to do a lot of damage even with those Psy Storms. Going to move in and try and pick off this last Colossus as it runs away. Not going to be able to get away, I don't believe. Yep, there it goes. Going to be taken down pretty easily. Oh my gosh, turning around at the exact right moment as the Archons get in. Going to be able to do a good amount of damage, but not going to be able to do enough. Here come those Zealots to try and do a little bit more damage. High Templar. 2 High Templar are going to be morphed in there. Could be turned into an Archon just in time there. Going to have our 4th base to go down. Very nice indeed. We need to use that energy on those orbital commands sometime soon here. We are seeing, do we have 3 3s done? Yes, we do have 3 3s done. Very nice. We do have our +1 weapons for our Vikings as well. Very cool. Just to give them that little bit of edge. One thing I feel that lower level players don't quite realize in a lot of scenarios, even myself, is that just getting that slight edge, once you get to late game and both of you have 3-3s, any slight edge you can get is worth it in most cases. Even getting those +1 on those Vikings, just to do a little bit more damage to those Colossi and try and get them down as soon as possible. So your Bile Ball will be just that much more effective. I have the Scout Factory that went in a little while ago, didn't actually spot it going in, but we do have our Bile Ball coming in to try and deny this 4th base, as our 4th base does probably go down here in just a bit. I'm going to just float there a little bit as we come in to try and pick this off. We do have the Colossus, Stalker, High Templar, Zealot, just the absolute death ball. Not really that big at this point, as it has been pretty much denied from really massing at any point by this constant pressure from BlackDeath on that 4th base. Very, very nice indeed. We do see that ErikTheRed is mined out at his main as well as his natural, and is probably going to be running low on minerals at these 2 bases pretty soon. If we take a look at the probe count, we are pretty even at 50 to 56, but if we look at the food count, we are at 125 to 115, slight edge to BlackDeath in this situation. Really, this is starting to get to a little bit more of a passive state. Going to speed it up to 4 times speed until we get to more conflict. Going to have just a little bit of playing around back and forth, as each side tries to avoid an actual main conflict. Going to keep these Zealots from morphing in just as that SCV transfer comes in. But we do see that, oh dear God, here comes some Sly Storms to do a little damage, slowing down to 2 times speed as we do see a conflict likely coming up. 2 Archons morphing in right in front of the Bile Ball. Really unfortunate. Those are going to go down very, 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 very quickly. Going to die in like 2 seconds. There they go. They'll be able to come in and do a good amount of damage to the Protoss army. However, both sides are taking huge losses in this fight, although the Protoss, I believe, is taking a lot more. Going to be able to take out that Bile Ball, though, very quickly, very easily. The Viking going down before you do anything, but the Ghosts are cloaked, absolutely wrecking this army. Very, very good indeed. Gotta love the Ghosts, gotta love the Ghosts. Going to go down, though, unfortunately, once that Observer arrives. Very nice. Going to be a lot of Immortals, or not a lot of Herb Dirt. A lot of those Terran Immortals called Marauders. Herb Dirt. Going to be out on the field to be able to take care of anything that comes in. Going to have a few, just a few idle probes, but this is a very, very heated engagement. If we take a look at the APMs, holy crap, Batman, 132 and 151. These guys are very competitive, very, very good, doing a very good job throughout this game. This is kind of the thing that is pointed out in higher level play, just the absolute speed of both sides. Going to be sending in a Warp Prism to be able to put in a little bit more pressure. We do have a 5th base up. Very nice for our there are no Zerg on this map. For our Terran, very nice. Going to be warping in, I believe, probably Dark Templar or something like that. What are we going to see come in? Come on, ErikTheRed, come on. What are we going to see? Going to be moving in with this Bile Ball at the same time. Are we going to phase anything in or just chill? Going to move in and actually take out this 4th base. That is going to be very unfortunate for our Protoss enemy, but he does have his 5th base, which is now his 4th base, coming up. Do we have anything warped in? Nope, just chilling out, Yes, he does see that. Okay. But yeah, going back to the main screen, we do see that the Bile Ball is moving out. If we take a look at the food count, 160, 102. Very, very, very steeply in favor of our Terran, although the Psy Storms can be incredibly potent against that. They're going to do a good amount of damage. Bring it down to 137, but 137 to 72. Very unfortunate. That was a cute all-in, by the way. Was never all in. One Gate Expo. GG comes from ErikTheRed. Very good game from both sides. Very, very nice. I liked it a lot. Very indicative of high-level play. Just the speed of both players. Very nice indeed. Thank you very much to BlackDeath for sending this in. If you guys like this, please hit the like button at the bottom. Let me know what you guys think of these casts. I will be bringing a bunch out in the future. Thank you very much for sending this in, BlackDeath, again. And keep sending in those replays to MissionStarCraft@gmail.com. This is Flag signing out for this moment, but I'll see you in the next few casts. This is Flag signing out.